remind you the Arizona Cardinals season tickets are on sale now. The 2023 home schedule includes visits by the Giants, Cowboys, Bengals, Ravens, and Falcons, as well, of course, as the Seahawks, Rams, and 49ers. For information on Cardinals tickets, call 602-379-0102 or visit azcardinals.com/tickets. Wolf, we are pleased to be joined right now up in the booth by Drew Terrell, who is in charge of the receivers, what's going on with the passing game. Drew, thanks for the time, man. How you doing?
No doubt. I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Rolling right along here in training camp.
How's we're about 2 weeks-ish in. How's it looking right now?
It's good, man. Guys are, really buying into our process and, what it takes for us to have success. And, I thought the guys handled the scrimmage setting the other day with the fans, a little bit more pressure, more call-it periods going off a call sheet. I thought they handled it really well. So, those guys are rowing in the right direction. We've just got to continue to stack days and keep going.
How about the room overall, Coach, in regard to mental errors? You know how important mental errors are. You got a bunch of young guys that are trying to make their way. Wide receivers typically have a harder time mentally adjusting to the NFL game, coming from the college game. How is all of that going?
Well, I think those guys are actually doing a really good job. I mean, the spring we kind of got a chance, of course, to, install the new offense. So there was a lot more errors in the spring. But I've really been impressed with, how they've come into this training camp, the how deliberate they've been about their practice plans. And you could tell guys have really been in the book, and, studying that stuff. I think, I anticipated a little more mental errors, to be honest with you, but those guys are doing awesome.
How much read routes are actually in this offense? Do they have read route situations?
Yeah. There's, there's situations, and, we'll put certain guys in situations that are better at that than others that, have a feel for coverage and how to find space. So, we'll definitely have some of those in the plan, and the players will kind of dictate how many of those we do, how often they're right on their reads, will kind of dictate how much of that we do, but there is some of it.
We're talking to Drew Terrell. Drew, I know you're a Stanford guy. I'm going to ask you about a Stanford guy, Michael Wilson, because he's been getting a lot of buzz all the way back to, OTAs. And it's certainly, I know it's early still career-wise and season-wise for him, but it seems like you guys maybe got a steal in this draft.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. He just has to keep showing up, putting the work in. He's been awesome. He's been, as advertised so far. We knew we were getting a sharp guy, a football guy, smart guy that, works his tail off. Working on the details. He's physical, good route runner, has the ability to go outside, quick enough to play inside. Pretty much everything that we saw on tape is, what, you guys are seeing every day on the practice field. And, we're going to keep putting pressure on him, keep challenging him to get better. And, he's embraced every challenge that we've offered so far. He's, I'm excited about Mike and where he can go.
It was really interesting to hear your answer on that right away, Coach, because I heard a coach
coach answer right
saying,
there.
wait a minute now, how much do I want to praise this guy right now?
Yeah,
do you want to give him too much sugar right now? Yeah. What kind of coach are you, Drew? Are you one of these guys? Are you hard on your players? Do you demand from your players? Do you give them a little sugar? What do you do? How do you go about your business?
Yeah, I mean, my job is simple. It's to teach and demand. But I want guys to know that I care about them. And I tell them that on the first day. I want to be the type of coach that I wanted as a player. I want somebody that's going to hold me to a standard, hold me accountable, but also at the same time I know cares about me as a person. And I know how hard this game is for guys physically and mentally. I want them to know that they can, come talk to me about that stuff. Mm-hmm. And, whatever they've got going on in their life, whether it has to do with football or not, I want them to know they can come to me. But, when we're on the grass, there's a standard that they've got to live up to, and I think they know that.
We're talking to Drew Terrell. Drew, with Hollywood Brown, I know it's not your job to worry about contracts, but he's obviously in a contract year. There's a lot of pressure to be like that number one guy. How do you approach Hollywood this season? What do you need from him where he can give you everything without trying to do too much?
Yeah, I think, Hollywood just needs to be himself. There is no pressure. He's a football player. This is what he's supposed to do. This is what he's supposed to show up every day and work at. And, he has a great mindset about going about that. Hollywood's a true professional. He sits in the front of every meeting. He's locked in on the details. He's not a guy who you have to worry about, messing up a lot of plays or having MAs. He doesn't need to do anything more than be himself on a day-to-day basis, and he'll have success.
Coach, if we could go back to Michael Wilson, this is a guy that I saw right from the get-go, really, really impressed with. Not only his size, but also how smart he is. You could just tell he was absorbing the offense right here. Where do you think he's excelling right now And where do you think he might need to get better going into the season?
I think he's excelling in terms of his play speed. That's a huge difference. Play speed, there's a huge difference between that and a guy's time speed. Like Mike's time speed was, 4.55, 4.58 in that range, but he's playing at that speed all the time. That's where he's really been excelling. He plays fast. He's a sharp guy. We can move him around all three spots, and we're going to continue putting that pressure on him because that's something he's going to have to do for us in the season. Some things he can improve on. I mean, he can always improve his route running, being a little more decisive sometimes. Sometimes he's a little too savvy, thinks he has all day to win on a route. But that's something for young guys getting into this league. All of them kind of have that problem initially. You got to kind of train into them every day. You got to go fast, go fast, go fast. And then we have change-ups off of that, based on who we're playing. So give him the fastball, and then the off-speed pitch comes later. So that's an area he can improve, and he knows that, he's aware of it.
And you think you can move him anywhere?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Outside, slot, he's good.
Yeah, he played some inside in college, and he's got enough quickness and enough awareness to play in there. He's got good enough ball skills to play in there. I think something that's critical for inside guys, they got to have awareness and ball skills to be able to pluck with bodies around them. And that's something that he showed in college and something he's continued to show. And then, of course, he's got the frame and the play speed as for an outside guy. So, we're going to continue putting that pressure on him to move around.
Drew, Rondale Moore is a guy that we've seen flashes of the last couple of years. Unfortunately for him, hasn't been able to stay on the field. What sort of weapon, what sort of options does he give you with that speed and some of the different things he can do?
Yeah, Rondale's having an awesome training camp. He's doing a great job. He's doing everything we ask of him. A guy that fast and that explosive, it certainly gets, an offense excited. We're going to continue. It's going to be a week-by-week basis how we use them based on how we can attack the defense. But, I anticipate being able to have him be kind of an interchangeable piece that you can kind of move around for matchup reasons. And he's been awesome. He's embracing his role. He's, been out there every day. Of course, as a guy that's, kind of dealt with some injuries over his career. So, I think he's gaining some confidence in that he hasn't missed a day of practice, hasn't missed a rep that he's been called to do, and he's doing awesome. Excited about Rondale.
Tell me about this guy right here, because to me he's a football player first and foremost. He just happens to play wide receiver. Zach Pascal. Tell me what you know about this guy, what you like about him, what you don't like. Tell me about Zach Pascal.
Yeah, Pascal is he's a true professional. He's going to do whatever it takes for his team to have success. He's unselfish. He's a guy that, has the ability to play outside and inside, kind of similar to Mike. He has, the awareness of an inside player, but the physicality and, the stride length and speed to play outside. I can't say enough good things about ZP and what he's brought to our room. He's the most experienced guy probably in our room, but he definitely, carries himself a certain way, and guys gravitate towards that.
Talking to Drew Terrell, Drew, does it complicate your job at all because it's not Kyler Murray throwing the passes right now, and ultimately it will? Does that mix anything up?
Not at all. That who's back behind center doesn't have any effect on the way we train, talk, coach the position. It shouldn't have any effect on the way those guys in that room go about their business. Because at the end of the day, and I know it sounds cliche, that's out of their control. They should make it easier. They should make the quarterback's job, no matter who it is, they should make it easier on that person. So we can't be concerned about who's behind center. We just got to be at the spot we're supposed to be at when we're supposed to be there and make the play.
So last year, the Arizona Cardinals offense was dead last in the National Football League in yards per passing attempt, throwing the ball down the field, of course. Do you expect that to change this year? And if so, how?
I expect us to get better every day. And if a statistic is a result of our continued process, then that's ideal. We don't talk in our room about statistics. The first slide I put up there for the guys is our number one goal is to improve on a daily basis. That should be your sole focus and sole thought process. Statistics and accolades are a result of that process. So if it happens, it's because we're doing something right. If it doesn't, we need to correct and change our process.
Do you think you got the guys to run by? Guys who run by, throw the ball down the field?
Yeah, we got some guys that are up to that challenge. The challenge in our room is going to be going back and making those plays when we have the opportunities. Going back with our hands and finishing the plays down the field.
Drew, we ran out of time. We didn't get to talk to you about the Pac-12. Maybe we have to do that next time, all right?
Oh, man, you're going to need about an hour segment for that.
Okay, we'll bring you back up here for a full hour next time. That's Drew Terrell. Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.